getting
Yes.
emotionally attracted to you
Yeah.
because of what you're doing and what
Yeah.
you're saying. And if it is not the same way like you feel, then we have to cut off the friendship.
Yeah.
So I told him, let's cut off the friendship because I'm emotionally getting attached to you.
Did I call you in the night?
Yeah. Like you're treating me in a very special way. And I'm thinking,
then we get
does he
confused.
treat other girls like this? So,
Is it only me?
yeah, is it only
Wow.
me? So it was that kind. I'm like, no, I don't want to be in this mix. So it better be so clear.
Clear.
And if it's not clear,
All
then
the
I'm out of
clarity.
here because I'm emotionally getting attached to this guy.
Yeah.
We didn't discuss it.
No, we didn't talk
We
through
didn't
it.
say it loud to each other. You know
No.
what? We are leaders, and because of this. No, it was just in my head, and I'm like, in my head, since he's a Christian, he knows we are not supposed to have sex before marriage. I am not supposed to have sex before marriage. But everything we were doing was leading to that.
Yeah.
Like we were spending,
We were spending a lot of time together.
it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And as Christians, we were like, we knew what to do. We just didn't do it. We just didn't follow through. We didn't have people
It just
to
stayed in
walk
our
this
mind.
Because
journey
we
with us.
know these things actually.
Yes,
They tell us
yes.
about them and
Yeah.
Yeah. People break up or break down.
They break down. They don't break up. They break
and
down.
They leave church. I'll never even come back to that church.
Yes, those
or
people,
I'll never
they-
be in that person's friend again. But when you break up, you still be friends. That
Yeah.
is that breakup. It's healthy. You guys stay in church. You guys stay in your community. You
Yeah.
still have a health. We help you relate in a healthy way.
Yeah.
finding the love of your life. Have we ever imagined that this is even possible? Does the Bible tell us something like that, that it's possible to find the love of your life? Or maybe putting that aside, I mean, walking the journey of marriage 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and even more. Is it possible? Those who have reached there, how have they been able to make it? Do we know? Is it possible? But of course, we know that with God, everything is possible. And in today's episode, I have a very special, wonderful couple that is going to tell us about, finding the love of their life, boundaries. It's a lot. Well, I welcome you in today's episode. My name is Maureen Hilda, God's Own, and it's a special episode today. Well, if it's your first time joining us, you are so welcome to this channel. I want to encourage you to subscribe. Click that notification button so that you don't miss out on any of our episodes that will be coming your way. And for our continuing subscribers, thank you very much for keeping in there. Thank you very much for showing us love. And today's episode, I also want to thank in a special way the Glam Squad. I have Sandiz Faces, who has done my makeup today. I have the camera crew, the production team, and they've all made sure that this is possible. Not to forget Eta Uganda, that has given us a spacious place where we can be able to shoot these videos and bring you that wonderful content that will be able to inspire you. Yes, so without wasting any more time, I want to welcome this amazing couple. Number one, they are wonderful mentors. They mentor couples into this journey of finding the love of your life, walking the journey of marriage. I mean, the courtship journey. They are wonderful pastors, and they are also wonderful people I love very much and I look up to. Join with me as we welcome Pastor Trust and Maureen Nongo. You are welcome, our guests.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
Yes. And guess what? They made 15 years in marriage. I mean, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Wow, wow.
Feels like 15 days.
Oh, 15 days. I was about to ask, how do those 15 years look like? But anyway, maybe for someone out there, they would want to get to know you a little bit better. I've not really introduced them because they have very many titles, but let them tell us who they are so that we can get to know them a little bit better. Yes, we could start with Pastor Trust.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. I'm Trust Nongo, and this is Maureen Nongo, my wife.
My namesake.
We've been married 15 years now, and we pastor a church. We also run a school,
Wow.
and many other things.
Amen. Amen. Amazing.
yeah.
You're welcome, Pastor
Thank
Trust.
you.
Yes.
Anything I've
And
forgotten?
Mama.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been, like you said, they've been married 15 years. We have 2 children.
Amazing.
We have our firstborn is a boy, Jed Nongo. He's 14 years, and our lastborn is a girl, Bayla Chen, and she's 9 years old.
Amazing, amazing. We are
Yeah.
so grateful that you have,
Though we have very many other children, we don't forget those other children.
of course, being pastors. Of course, we can't
Yeah.
forget
They're
us
also-
that we are here also
Yes.
the children. Yeah, but that's amazing. We bless the Lord for this journey. I mean, beginning with the 15 years, how do they feel like? I mean, because now imagine a single like me, we are wondering 15 years. Well, how do you feel about the 15 years? What do they feel like anyway? Yes, in your own words.
So, of course, when we were starting off, it didn't feel like we would also get here. The 15 years just come year by year, of course, the challenges that are there, and then we go through them. We've been having times that are good, times that are funny, times that are
challenging times.
yeah. But yeah, we also just like look at God's faithfulness and we're like, wow, 15 years, it's just God's faithfulness.
Amen, amen. We really bless
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yes, Pastor Trust, do you have
It's-
anything to say
It's
about this 15 years?
yeah, like my wife has said, you know, in the days or the times when we are challenged, it feels like it's too much time. You know, sometimes you feel like, why should this go on? But then when you have good moments, you want to live another year.
Yeah.
You're like, I need 15 more. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. We thank God for the 15 years. And not to move further from that, we would like to get to know, how did you guys meet? What was the journey like? I mean, now looking back 15 years, we would want to know what, like, how did you guys meet? What was it like when you met each other? And yes, we would like to know. Yeah, let's start your story.
Honey, my wife has a better story. But I don't know if I can remember how we met. We met at church. My wife and I have been involved in the music ministry for a very long time, and I think that was our first meeting there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we met at Victory City Church in Tinda, and we were both on the music team or worship team, and then but we really didn't notice each other at that time. Like, it was just everyone doing their own business.
All right.
Yeah, so until one time when we really got to connect, we had an encounter come, and we had to go to Ginger. So that's when we had some time, like out of.
That's when you encountered me.
Yeah. Away from church.
Oh, yes.
So anyways, away from church, I found this guy was a caring guy. Like, oh, he really cares. Like when you're crossing the road, he's protecting the ladies not to be knocked. I'm like, oh, okay. So from that time, we exchanged numbers, and that's how we kept in touch.
Wow,
And
amazing.
yeah, that's how the relationship started.
Oh, amazing, amazing. I love the story. So what led to the relationship to the I do? What led to that? Because I think many of the singles, we feel like maybe it's going to be a magical moment, something out of the blue. You're going to find this wonderful man somewhere. These days we have ideas of, that perfect proposal and what. So what led to that? Because you said you were in ministry, which shows us that you actually had a relationship with God. Yeah, tell us about, maybe even before we continue, tell us about your relationship with God at that stage. How was your relationship with God even before you came to the I do? Yes, tell us about that.
I think from the time when I got saved, I got saved in 2000, like seriously, and I joined the church. When I joined the church, it was an upbeat church, so we, like I got discipled and everything. So by the time I met my wife, my relationship with God was strong. I was going after God. Yeah, I was going after God.
On the other hand, for me, when I joined church, that time is when I had become serious. That was 2006. I was like, God, I want this year, the year had just started, and I was like, I want to go for you. Help me find a church that will enable me to serve and to grow in the things that you desire for me. And so that is when I joined Victory City Church. And so I liked the church because it had the idea of discipleship, mentorship. So yeah, my relationship with God was really, really strong.
Amen. Yeah. Do you think that having a strong relationship with God is important, especially now on this journey to find the love of your life, or even to be able to maintain like a relationship and walk that journey of marriage? Is it important? Yeah. Should it be the beginning point, or as long as I meet this person, walk a journey with them, get married, things will work out? What do you think about that?
Of course, it is key. It is the foundation. It is the foundation because God created us. He knows how we should live life. Okay, He knows the person that is supposed to be the love of your life. And so without Him in the picture, then every other thing falls apart. So the thing that is key in having a relationship with anybody else is that I have a relationship, a very close relationship, intimate relationship with God. Yes. And so because I'm pursuing God, and also this other person is pursuing God, we get closer to God. So we find ourselves in God than when we pursue ourselves and God is outside, so we just go further away from ourselves.
And maybe end up making a wrong decision.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's probably also something like spiritual attraction. It's probably not thought so much, but I've seen this play out a lot. Like when someone is after God, and you are after God, you can those godly attributes can actually be an attraction. Nice. Yeah, although so many times we pay less attention to being attractive spiritually, but the more involved you are in serving God and doing certain things, then you're attractive spiritually. So that one also played a part for us. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, so I want us to go back to the story. So you meet each other in ministry. What led to I do? I would like maybe to hear from Pastor Trust. How did you come to tell Mrs. Nongo that, okay, let's get married, let's start this journey, let's walk together? Yeah, what led into now the marriage?
Well, it's a long story. For me, I actually did not get the attraction before she did. She kind of liked me before I liked her. So during the friendship, I think one time she's asking me because I was kind of like good.
Yeah.
I was good, you know. So she says,
Overly good.
Yeah,
Overly
she
good.
told us you were so caring.
yeah, you know.
Kind.
So then she says, do you think about me differently? I don't know how you pose the question. And I'm like, nothing. For me, you're just my friend, just like anybody else. And then I think for
from
her,
that time I was like, no, then for me I'm getting
Yes.
emotionally attracted to you
Yeah.
because of what you're doing and what
Yeah.
you're saying. And if it is not the same way like you feel, then we have to cut off the friendship.
Yeah.
So I told him, let's cut off the friendship because I'm emotionally getting attached to you.
And I think that for me, that was the season that I now got attracted to her, when we had cut off the friendship.
Very amazing.
So it was during that time, and I'm like, yeah, I think I like her. Now I had to go back to convince her.
And it actually happens because sometimes the attraction can be on one end. I don't
Yeah.
know what you can
Yeah.
address on that, because sometimes maybe we can lose sight of maybe the right person because we feel I'm not feeling anything.
Yes.
The other person
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Maybe you can also address that. What is
Yeah.
the dynamics with that?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing, especially for girls, is to say it.
Yeah.
Because you can feel it and he's actually not feeling it. Like in our case, I
Yes.
wasn't feeling nothing, but yet she was. So if it had gone on long, she would have been heartbroken for no reason really on my part. But then also for the, for the men or for the guys, is to be careful over what you do with the opposite sex. If there's too much time, there's gifts, you're saying something you're not saying. And so the other person is actually begin to think like you like them. They feel like, you're interested in them, but you haven't said it, and maybe you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah, so for the girls it's important that they get to that point and be real.
Yeah.
Be real. If I'm feeling like this, I don't know whether the other person is feeling the same way, but they are not saying anything. But they are saying it, like when they say actions speak louder than
The
words.
words.
Yeah.
Because your actions, you're spending time with me, you're calling me in the night, you're sending me gifts, you're
Laugh
you're
together,
treating me in
Did I
a
call you in the
special
night?
way. Yeah. Like you're treating me in a very special way.
Yes,
And I'm
and
thinking,
then we get
does it
confused.
treat other girls like this?
Is it only me?
Yeah, is it only
Wow.
me? So it was that kind. I'm like, no, I don't want to be in this mix. So it better be so clear.
Clear.
And if it's not
All
clear, then
the
I'm out of
clarity.
here because I'm emotionally getting attached to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's it. I was like, no, if he's not, of course, even at that point, I was heartbroken. I cried for months, but the guy had not said anything like, I love you. His actions were speaking.
His actions, yeah.
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 So I cried heartbroken, but I'm like, at least it was just a few months. Yeah, it was just a few months, and I got it clear, and I'm like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually one of the lessons I've been teaching us, especially in I remember now the women's conferences, when we get to separate into the different relationships, that you've actually been among those who are teaching us not to assume. Because now as girls, you can assume that
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
something is happening.
Yes.
And
Yes.
people take it even further and they end up getting heartbroken. So that really makes it, the clarity coming out
Oh,
to
yeah.
understand the boundaries, what is
Yeah.
happening, what is this relationship. I think what should, at that point when you're feeling like that, how should I address it now, especially as the women, because now we are, sometimes for us we are the ones who are most affected.
Yes.
Yeah,
True,
you imagine
true.
something is happening, but when the other party, no, you're just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it is really you opening up and saying it out. Assuming won't help anything. Expectations won't help you in any way. It is you saying it.
Yes.
Yeah, saying it, and you say, this is how I'm feeling. Is it the same way? I know sometimes getting that boldness is
It's
hard.
hard for it's hard for ladies.
I don't know,
yes.
please comment below if you can be bold enough to speak about my goodness.
To say,
Yeah.
you don't really say I love you. You know, you just say,
Just
I
Yeah,
have
like you don't say the guy's way.
feeling. Yeah, of course. Like I have this nice feeling towards you that is growing. Like, and I wouldn't want it to go in that direction if it's not,
Like if you don't clear this space.
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it is for me. That was it. It really helped.
I think being honest to your feelings, you know, like let's say if it's a gift and this gift somehow, you know, just takes your mind and then you're thinking about the person. So being honest and saying, hey, you know, you gave me this, but there's a way I'm thinking about you,
Yeah.
and I don't know where it's heading.
Are you saying something
Yeah.
with this gift?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he's like, no, I just gave you a gift, you're like, no, then don't give me such gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't give me such gifts because they bring in a different picture.
kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, yes, still in those mentorship classes, especially like the trainings about relationship, especially for us singles, they encourage us to actually to be able to clear the air.
Yeah.
Put your boundaries, and I know later we're going to be talking about those boundaries. But continuing in your story, so you share with us, I think you shared with some singles, especially of the church, your story about the season that whereby something happened and a situation of marriage out of wedlock. So are you able to share with us something about that season? What happened in that season, maybe for someone out there who could be going through the same season? They are ministers, because you said you are ministers in church, and then this happens. What was the story like about it, and how were you able to deal with that, even as ministers? Yes.
Yeah, so he was still saying he came back after that season. He comes back, and now he's pursuing me with all his heart. And remember, I'm one person who already liked him. Yes. So in that excitement, as in his back, and I'm so happy, much as we were taught in church about, you know, boundaries, like if you're in a relationship, please keep a distance. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because
don't be together. Let
when
hours.
you have feelings, you can't be apart. Like the feelings just keep growing.
Exactly.
So we didn't have any boundaries. But in our hearts of hearts, like we were like, we are born again.
Oh yeah.
We are leaders in church, and so there are certain things that ought not to happen. We had that in our heads. We didn't discuss it.
No, we didn't talk through it.
We didn't say it loud to each other. You know what? We are leaders, and we, because of this. No, it was just in my head, and I'm like, in my head, since he's a Christian, he knows we are not supposed to have sex before marriage. I am not supposed to have sex before marriage. But everything we were doing was leading to that.
Yeah.
Like we were
spending a lot of time together.
We started hugging.
Yeah.
And a hug that was 1 second became longer and longer and longer, and then as we were escorting each other home in the night, we were walking together. Then we start watching a movie. You're watching a movie at 9 p.m. It's going to end at 11. Then what? Then you
Anti-movie night.
Exactly, movie night. And then you'll be like, okay, we'll just, you know, you'll sleep on the couch today, and then I'll sleep on the bed. Make sure you don't come near me. And it happens, and it happens 3 months, and you're like, we okay?
But the flames are going on, and you're actually just coming close.
You're putting more fire.
Fueling
it, fueling those things. So there were no boundaries. We didn't discuss them. So even when it happened, we were also shocked. But now that we know it, that is exactly where it was leading. We didn't have a good courtship. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And as Christians, we were like, we knew what to do. We just didn't do it. We just didn't follow through. We didn't have people
It just
to
stayed in
walk
our
this
minds.
Because
journey
we
with us.
know these things actually.
Yes,
They tell us
yes.
about them, and
Yeah, but you imagine a lot of pregnancies happen in church. Some don't, of course, get pregnant, but
Yes.
sex is happening in church
Right,
with these
yes.
people, and they're like they're taking it. Lightly,
yeah,
right?
and maybe some are in hiding, some we
Some
never.
are like, after
Yes.
all, we are going to get married, and so even if it happens, but that is not God's plan. That is not God's plan. So because we had such a bumpy courtship, that for us, fortunately, it only happened once, and once it happened, I got pregnant. Yeah, the once it happened, I got pregnant, and I think that was God's call, like wake up call. Hey, you. And of course, you may ask, how did you feel at that time? We are leaders in church.
Oh, yes.
That
Yeah.
season.
That season, I just wanted to run away from church.
I understand.
Yeah,
wanted,
you just
I'm
feel
like,
like-
how are people going to look at us?
Yes.
So it was so bad. I was like, I want to go to Gul where no one knows me and stay there, and then I don't know whether I will ever want to come back. But the shame, the guilt
Yeah.
it brings, and
Yeah.
that is the enemy's part.
Yeah.
To just shatter you and make you feel you're the most sinful person. How could this happen? Yeah, and it was hard. It was hard for us to approach our pastors, because now
We're
we
going
had
to-
tell them
yes.
this is happening, and because this is happening, we want to get married.
Yeah.
So let me.
So I think the hardest part for me was one, knowing that first of all, this is the church I've been in, and then I have been a leader. There's been many people looking up to me. These are things I've talked about all the time, and so now I have to come and tell them that I have actually fallen.
Oh my God.
I think it was hard.
I'm
But-
just imagining it can be so hard.
But in the moment, I thought about what would it look like if we actually go ahead, because we had planned to actually get married. Of course, it had to happen sooner. But then I was like, no. What if we actually go ahead and do this and stay here and go through this season? What would happen?
Yes.
And I think, much as I didn't have a clear picture of what it would look like and what would turn out to, what we have turned out to, I was like, no, I think let's stay. I was like, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and speak to the pastors. Let him know what's happening. Let them know what's happening. See what guidance they can give to us. Let them know what we had in plan and see if we can go ahead. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in my head at that time, I thought this is one of the guys that are going to run away. Because now, when you hear a child, it is responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even when I was telling him, you know what? I'm pregnant. I thought he was going to say, deal with your thing. I'm out of here. Yeah. But I
that's
like
what
the fact that he stood and he was like, yeah, I want to marry you right away. You know, I want to marry you right away, and we are going to tell our pastors. Like he said, the marriage was in plan, but not as soon as. Yeah. So I liked that he took on the responsibility of what had happened. Yeah. Much as we don't advise people because this incident has happened, and so you feel like, no,
The
now,
pressure.
yeah, the pressure. Now I have to marry this person, but I don't. Sometimes these things happen, and you don't even love
You don't
each
even
other.
love each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just been in the moment of you doing the wrong thing that has packed to that happening, and so we don't advise that every time one is pregnant, and then so you have it has to automatically
Lead to a marriage. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, there are things.
Yeah.
Certain
There are certain
dynamics.
things that kind of can jeopardize that marriage,
Yes.
especially if this was like, because sometimes people end up sleeping together not because there's been love going on.
Yeah, but because of now, what
Yes.
has happened.
Circumstances, and so we advise that at least questions are asked, and you know, a few things are put into perspective before they rush into the marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, however, taking responsibility for the child is for both of them.
Yeah, we actually commend you very much for opening up with this story, because it has taught us a lot, and it has been such a great educative point for very many ministers, because actually, like you said, these things happen. People are getting pregnant, and most of the time the safe thing to do is to run away. To run away, no accountability, no, like, because when they imagine the shame, the everything, how am I going to face my pastors? What am I going to do about this? So I want you to, even in your words, to just encourage someone who could be going through that season right now. They're asking themselves, so should we talk to our pastors? Should we not? Should we get married immediately? Some of the things you have addressed, but maybe just to emphasize to someone who is watching out there, because these things happen in churches. Sometimes in the background we never get to know, and some of them in the open. So maybe just encourage someone going through that season. What should they do when you discover, okay, this has happened? What should be the first thing to do, and what should they do in such situations?
I think the best thing at that time is to get somebody that is spiritually mature, that is going to you have to talk to them, because if you don't, the enemy's deception, the lies are going to be magnified. Of run away, you're not worthy, you are what, you don't show up a good example, and so
the
judgment on yourself, because you were already somebody that was people were looking at. So many girls decide to leave church, or they abort, or they do different things to protect the image. There is nothing to protect at this time. The best place to be is church. Church, God is running back to God and telling him, I have messed. Like what David did. I have messed up, and God called him, you are a man after my heart, because imagine, because of all these things. It is not that you're perfect.
No.
The Bible says a righteous man may fall seven times, not a sinner. Righteous. So when we fall, we get up. The best place to always be and to keep is in the presence of God. Is to go back to your leaders. Is to stay in church, because that is the safe place. The world, it is a deception. When you go into the world, it will not give you solutions. It will destroy. The enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy. He will destroy your relationship. He will destroy your life. It's going to be messed up. So if you're out there and you're in this situation, get a person that you can be accountable,
like
to.
an accountability partner.
Tell them this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm feeling. As a young person, as a young lady, you need someone to support you, to pray with you. Our pastors, actually, when we opened up and told them, they didn't blame us. They didn't judge us. They told us, we still look at you the same way we've been looking at you. And that was so encouraging.
Yes, and I think pastors should learn not to push away these Christians who have made the mistake, but to actually welcome them. And
it does not mean that we had not sinned and that they didn't like what we had done. They made sure they tell us what you have done is wrong, it is sin, but that is the sin. You are righteous, okay, and you can make the right thing. That is what kept us here. That is what has brought us to these 15 years. And we are celebrating 15 years. That is it,
No, that's it.
That's support and you coming. But if I had gone on with my mind and, let's just run away. Let's leave this place. Go start up a new life somewhere where they don't know us. That's a deception. Church is always the best place. Going back and dealing with the issue. Do not run away from the issue.
Yes, dealing with the issue.
Through the
I think
issue.
that's the process. I think for the men, because you're not the one who's pregnant, it's so easy.
Very true. Very true.
To let the lady say, you deal with it, and simply what you're saying is find ways of making it get lost. But really, I just want to encourage you, because when you know, when there is pregnancy, I mean, even just having sex, but when there's pregnancy, you want to take responsibility for that baby. And as a man, the call of responsibility is going to come at you no matter where you go. You will learn how to be responsible. And that's a very good moment for you to say, I take responsibility for that pregnancy. I take responsibility for that baby. And whatever the enemy is telling you in that moment, you know, just deny it, because it's going to cause more repercussions for the lady and even for the baby. So take responsibility. It's hard. It has come at a time when you're not prepared for it, but because it has come, I think God will give you the ability to, you know, to take care of them both. Yeah. So please take responsibility.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I hope someone out there, you are learning something. And if you've been going through this situation, our wonderful guests, they have gone through this, and now we are here celebrating 15 years of a happy marriage. Amen. So the Nongos, I would want to find out, how many years did it take after you went to see the pastor? How long did it take for you to get married?
Yeah, because she was pregnant, I think we had like a year, right?
No. Of
When
course,
when so maybe the question you're asking, how long did it
How
take
long did it take you?
after the pregnancy
Yes.
to the wedding?
Yes.
It just took us 30 days, maybe 2 months.
less. It was like 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Tell us about the first years of your marriage. Were
Okay.
they easy? Were they hard for you? Because I know, like maybe some of the, can I call them the effects that come with this? Maybe things like lack of trust. And tell us about your first years of marriage. How were they? What happened? Did the situation that happened impact on them positively or negatively? Maybe share some thoughts on that.
Well, we thank God that the situation itself, because of the way we dealt with it, the pregnancy, it didn't really impact a lot. However, the difference that we had in our courtship was short, so there was so much that was working against us. There was so much from our background, me being a man and she's a lady. There was so many differences. So the first maybe 3-5 years, there was just too much going on. One that I can remember is my wife sleeps early and I sleep late.
Yes.
And so that one was already a problem. I would come in and, you know, I'm staying awake until 1, and then she's sleeping at 8, sometimes at 7. And then I had stayed alone for, you know, you stay alone. So I'd stayed alone until that time. So I hadn't known that I'm going to be with someone in the same bed. That was a problem for me because I wanted my space. I needed to straight throw my hands around, my legs around, turn the fan on the whole night. Now this person comes, they want to cover head to toe, then they want to cuddle all over you. I remember there's many nights in those first few years when I would actually sleep
run away from
the bed because someone was taking my space.
And maybe also because you didn't know all the nitty-gritty.
No, I didn't.
Period of courtship, yes.
To go back directly to your question,
Yes.
for me, I kind of felt the pregnancy brought a lot of sickness with me. I was too sick. I could hardly put food in my stomach.
Yeah.
Even water. So I had to be given glucose and put on drip for the first 4 months. And for me, it felt like I sinned. So
like God was
punishing me. This is God's punishment.
Okay.
It was too bad that the time we went for our first antenatal, that was now like when I was about 4 months. Like
into the marriage.
Into the marriage. I was like, I think they're going to tell us we have to remove this baby because I'm going to die. Like I'm practically going to die. I was looking horrible. I was vomiting, spitting. The pregnancy was too difficult.
Yeah.
The first actually 7 months. 'Cause
7
when
months.
we went in 4 months, it was I had malaria. I had like it was bad. So for me, I had this thing. I think I sinned because I sinned. This is God's punishment. And then the emotions that would go on, everything. It was bad. It was bad. I would look at him and he was scared that I was going to die. I felt I was going to die, that I was going to die. So for me, it really didn't bring the mistrust, but it brought that thing of I sinned. Yeah, so it's kind of like blaming myself that this came out of sin.
Yeah.
That is why I'm getting all this. Yeah, so it was that was the thing I had to deal with. Yeah, during our first year of marriage. Then when the child came along, of course, the pregnancy alone had its own challenges.
Yeah.
The emotions. Whatever he would say, I would feel he's not caring, yet I felt he was caring in the beginning. That is what attracted me to him. But then he would come back and say certain comments and I would feel so hurt. And then because of our differences I'm a touch, I speak touch, and his words of affirmation. So anything he would come in late, so I'm already angry. I'm not going to affirm him when he's late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he comes in and I'm also criticizing. Why would you come in late at this time? Don't you know that I need you here and everything? And so he's crushed because his words of affirmation. I'm not affirming him as in you've worked so hard and no. And then because of that, I would want him to hug me. And already I've criticized him. He cannot hug me.
Yeah.
And so he walks away, and I feel so shattered. I would want him to hold me, to carry me, like I had all these fantasies around me.
Yeah.
And so when those things were not happening, they were just further pushing us apart. So one of the breaking moments was the time when I had just given birth to our son. 2 weeks, they call it. I even didn't know it at that time. That
postpartum.
The postpartum depression came in, and because these things had continued, I was like, I just woke up one morning and I'm like, I am tired. I am tired of all this. I packed my things and for my son, and I walked away. I'm like, I've left this marriage, and in my head I'm like, and if you don't come back for me, I am gone. Yeah, so I know bad.
Clearly it wasn't as an easy season, but I would want to know right now, when a couple comes to you and they have gone through this, do you what do you advise them? When should they get married? And in fact, because you have now highlighted the importance of the courtship season, tell us, why is it very important to get to know each other even before this journey? Because I can see clearly that because of the differences that maybe you are not so you may be aware of, they also contributed to the fiction that was happening. So for those people maybe who find themselves they have messed up, what should be the period? Anyway, how should they handle the situation? What, as pastors, what do you tell them to do right now? Yes.
Right now, there's a lot of questions to ask. How long have they been in the relationship? Do they have any parental involvement in that relationship pre-pregnancy? And then, of course, even after the pregnancy, is this something that they want to go into? Because marriage is a long time, marriage is a lifetime. And when you make that decision, we always say there's no way out. That's what we always say. And so they need to think about it. So the pregnancy should not rush us. Yeah, it shouldn't rush us. However, it is a consideration. Yeah, we kind of say, now that there's a pregnancy, this is a relationship you want to work on and develop and move it towards marriage. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So away from that, back to the celebration mode, 15 years. I mean, tell us, is it possible? Is there something like finding the love of your life? Maybe I would want to start with Pastor Maureen. Do you think Pastor Trust is the love of your life?
Yeah, now.
Right. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And Pastor Trust, do you think Pastor Maureen is the love of your life?
Yes. Yes.
Why do you say so?
After marriage, she became.
After marriage, she became.
And I think when we say that, love has this connotation of red roses,
Yes.
nice music, good food, flying in the air. Well, I don't think so. The love of your life can also come with thorns. And I think it's in the moment of thorns that we question if this is really the love of my life. So I can say yes. Why? Because, yeah, we've had the rose moments, but we've also had the thorn moments. And so, yeah, she is.
Wow. And Pastor Maureen, why would you say so? Yes, that first. Yes.
I keep saying that I was lying to myself before when I was saying that I love him. I just say that wasn't love. No, that was infatuation. Because the first year, all the infatuation left. It left, and I felt I couldn't stand him. It was Cold War, like communication.
Yeah.
Everything was bad.
Everything. Finances.
Finances. Like we would come out of the house when we are not talking, and then we reach church, and then we pretend like everything is okay. And then I would make sure I talk to everyone else apart from him.
Yeah.
But in the what? In the midst there, like you might think, hey, these people are okay. So it was during that time, I'm like now working on loving this man.
Yeah.
Now when you work at that, like marriages are hard. It's not like and they lived happily thereafter. Those are just myths. That living happily thereafter is hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we started to put in the hard work, how can I really want to.
How can I love them?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I really want to love him even with all this happening.
Yeah.
And especially me, I didn't know that the issue was with me and not him. So me now deciding to work on myself and not making him be like me. That began I began seeing him in a different way, and then I began to fall in love.
Yeah.
So he's actually the love of my life because.
Amazing. So I love that because it's going to take me to the next question, because us as singles, we have this notion of like finding love, or maybe you've met this person at first sight. So tell us, maybe you could tell us like one or two myths that as singles we lie to ourselves about, especially walking on this journey of meeting the person or finding this person that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. So what are some of those myths that are some of the lies now as counselors? What are some of those things that you have had that maybe single people wanting to walk this journey of marriage shouldn't really lie to themselves about? Some myths about finding the love of your life. Yes.
I've seen many people think that marriage will solve my problems. That's a huge myth. If you have a financial problem, marriage won't solve it. If you have a lust problem, marriage won't solve it. You have pornography, no, marriage won't. Actually, marriage will expose it, and then sometimes it will become probably the downfall of that marriage.
Yes, first of all, any myths that
so for me, like the one I've said, like, marriage is a bed of roses. It's living happily thereafter. Marriage is hard work. It's hard work. We have to invest, first of all, in our relationship with God, and knowing that I am going on this marriage journey, I am the one going to change and not changing the other person to
Yeah.
become like me.
Yeah.
So it is a myth saying, oh, we like each other, we have the same likes, we have the same things, life is going to be good. No, life is going to be challenging because we are actually different. During the courtship, all those, when there is a lot of butterflies, we call them butterflies, you feel you love each other, you feel you like the same things, you feel, but really that's a myth. We are actually very different. When we get there, we find ourselves very different, and people think, now I'm not compatible. That is a myth. Like, oh, but now we are not compatible. Actually, I don't know how I made this mistake. No, we work on the
Compatibility, yes.
We work at it. And so for us, we are still very different, but we are very compatible.
Wow. Amazing.
Because we work at it. Otherwise, the first year was enough to tell us that, you know what, we are so different, we can't be in the same house.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but no, that it is a lie that I have to be compatible.
Oh, yeah.
With this person.
Yeah.
As long as you have God,
and you're willing to do the work.
Yes, and you're willing to do that. Every other thing falls in place.
Okay, so even as we come to the conclusion, I would want to ask each of you, what would you tell your 20-year, maybe young Maureen, 20-year young Trust, who is probably they're now getting into this season, maybe they're a little bit serious with their relationship with God, or maybe not, and they desire that one day they will be able to celebrate 15 years in marriage. What would you give, like, at least one piece of advice or to that 20-year or maybe they are 22? What would you tell your younger self? Yes, as you
I go first?
this day.
Okay, so you don't know what you're about to do. That's all. You don't know what you're about to do. Find somebody that will take you through the journey. That's it.
Exactly. And so actually that led us to what we do.
Oh, yes.
Because we had like I said, we had a bumpy courtship. Everything was like, it just happened by mistake. Yeah, now we don't work on mistakes. We are so intentional. So get people. People are there that have walked the journey, that have fallen in the pit. Why should you fall in the pit? When someone tells you, I didn't know I fell in that pit. And then this person is there to walk with you so that you don't fall in that pit. So get people that you can be accountable to. So for us, we have a courtship group or class that we mentor couples, people that feel, okay, I think I like this girl. Oh, I think I like this guy, and we can give it a try. There are some who actually come and they haven't. Maybe one other party is like, I'm still thinking about you.
Just like
I really like this guy. Yes, and you're in that place. And because some truth that can come out
can be unveiled. Yes.
Another person will be like, I don't want to get married to that person because of that tribe.
Yeah, but then they are still hanging out together.
Because he's short, but you're there.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So there's certain minor
there is this thing that I'm not sure of. Should I continue?
Yeah. So when you have guidance, it really helps you.
Yeah.
It really helps you. That is the best thing you can do for your relationship.
Wow, amazing. In fact, you've taken me into, I wanted to hear about this mentorship program. So who can enroll? You have highlighted some of the tits and bits of who should enroll, but tell us about it, like, and who should enroll and how are they able to reach you? Because I see this is very important for us, especially singles who are getting on this journey. I mean, to rule out the myths, to be able to walk a clear direction without making the same mistakes that others have faced. Yes, tell us more about it. Where are you guys located? Who should enroll? Anybody? If me, I just have my thoughts that I think there is the other person. Should I come over? You have to be already. You have to be already a couple. Maybe you have seen your person. Yes, tell us.
Like anytime you think you like somebody, or you get signals from somebody, that's the right time to come. You may already be in a relationship, you may not be. We have learned so much, we have empowered ourselves so much with a lot of knowledge in how we can help you even towards that journey. So we allow anybody Anybody, whether you're from a different faith, from a different church. We just feel like we want to create that space to just help you through the journey. So again, it's basically a space, just a space.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
it is not intended to get you married.
No.
No, it's intended to help you relate healthy.
Yeah.
So if it means you've come, we are a couple,
and
we can help you.
And then we
break
talk
up.
through, and we realize,
not
and you
the
both
one, we
realize
can
that the
actually
person is
break
not the
up.
one.
Wow.
You want to break up.
Yeah.
So we actually help you break up
Wow.
in a healthy
Amazing.
way.
In a healthy
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So because people break up, break down.
They break down. They don't break up. They break
and
down.
They leave church. I'll never even come back to that church.
Yes, those
or
people,
I'll never be in that person's friend again. But when you break up, you still be friends. That is that breakup. It's healthy. You guys stay in church. You guys stay in your community. You still have a health. We help you relate in a healthy way.
Yes.
Yeah. So whatever we talk
Wherever
about,
we end, whether we end in marriage or in a breakup,
and
it's
in
healthy.
marriage, good. If we don't, good. Yeah.
Wow.
At least it will have helped a marriage that will break.
Yeah.
In future, because normally the mistakes start as we are
As
courting.
early as courtship.
Yeah, so then we realize in marriage and we're like, okay, then we break up. Now that is not God's desire. So
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
found out that the right thing during the courtship, then when we get married,
It's free entry.
Free entry, wow, amazing.
It's free entry.
we meet once a month.
Once a month, we meet
Alright.
at our home,
Yeah.
Ooh.
have a meal, nuts, water.
He's vegetarian. Have chicken, sausage, frankfurters.
So actually we can give you a phone call. How are they able to reach
Yeah.
out? Maybe a phone call, and we are going to link up their contacts in
Yeah.
our description, so you'll be able to get all the information. Well, I've loved this conversation. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much,
You're welcome.
Pastor Trust and Maureen. So even for our parting shots, I just want you to look into the camera. Encourage those people who are walking the journey. They're not yet 15. Maybe they are in their early years of marriage, and they are hoping one day they will get to that 15.
Yes.
Just encourage someone there, and maybe that one who is not yet even in a relationship, but they are saying, Lord, I want those 15 years to
Yeah.
be happy, solid,
Yeah.
grounded. Just as a parting shot, one encouragement to the viewer out there. Yes.
Yeah, we help couples also that are married. We have a marriage course that we run every year. This marriage course will equip you, will give you all the tools, everything necessary for you to have a very, very, very good, beyond good marriage. Right? Yeah. So we would encourage all those that are married to sign up for that marriage course. It happens once a year, but that is one course that will transform your marriage.
Yeah.
And it is a period of about 8 weeks. It's a training we do towards around September, October, and into November, so that we have 2 months with you. They'll equip you, train you to have a healthy marriage. For those that are married, that is what I would advise you to have.
Yeah.
If you haven't known about the marriage course or gone through the marriage course, please let us know. You can contact us.
Yes.
We would want you to be a part of it. It helped our marriage, like,
Tremendously.
Amen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
Pastor Trust, your parting shot.
in many things in life, you learn them before you acquire a certificate. Now, it's only marriage that people are certified, are given a certificate, and they actually don't know what to do. And I think it's God. God is trusting us that we will have the heart to want to learn. And so when it comes to marriage, no matter where you are, you may be discouraged at something. It could be communication, it could be finances, it could be your sexual life. We have learned how to navigate these issues with all the differences that we all have. And all you need is actually to learn about marriage, for those of you that are married. And if you are single and somehow you've gone after heartbreak after heartbreak, heartbreak after heartbreak, there are just a few things that you may not know how to do right. There are a set of boundaries that you may want to put up. And we can help you, we can help coach you through those boundaries so you can determine to have a good courtship season.
Amen. Thank you very much once again. Thank you for
You're
coming
welcome.
to our show. And we want to thank you very much for staying with us all this long. And I just want to appreciate you. I mean, if you want more of this wonderful content, I just want to encourage you to subscribe. Click that button right on your screen, and of course you'll be able to get this and more beautiful conversations that are going to help us to grow better, solid relationships, to be able to walk that right journey. All right, I don't want to forget the people who have contributed to the success of this video. I want to thank Sandiz Faces on our glam look today. I want to appreciate the production and camera team, and to thank you viewers for joining us today, and also Eta Uganda that has given us this wonderful space to be able to shoot our content. That is all we've had for you today. I love you all, and we'll meet next time for our next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.